Hi, Miss Patterson here, and today I'm going to continue with my new teacher information. And today is going to be over teacher in service. What is teacher in service and what should you expect? So let's get started. So teacher in service is when you start your contract time. This is the first week that teachers are in school. There's usually no students. It's about 5 to 3 days is usually what in service is. Now, professional development is when you do classes or workshops in the summer prior to this. Usually you need to have so many hours accumulated or credits accumulated by the beginning of the school year. Each district's different, so make sure you know how many hours you need to have with your district. You will usually get an email, but most of the time principals will mail teachers the agenda and when this in-service starts. They mail it most of the time because teachers don't check their emails during the summer. So they'll actually mail a physical letter to your house. Every place I've been has done that. Yours might be different, but I would double check and make sure. That will give you an agenda of your outline for the week and where you're going to go. So let's talk about that first day. The first day, usually it will say that you will start at 8 o'clock. I have never, ever had a first day of in-service where we started at 8 o'clock. It's usually 8:30, 8:45. It's a day where everybody's mingling, everybody's eating. They'll have donuts. Usually some type of financial institution or somebody in the city or the town will donate breakfast and they'll usually come in and serve. So you might have eggs, biscuits, donuts, muffins. It's going to be a whole ordeal. And most of the time, first day is the entire district. The entire district is usually in one building. Most of the time it's the high school because the high school is the biggest cafeteria, the biggest auditorium, and that's where everybody will meet. The superintendent will talk. They will introduce new administration to the district, or if somebody has moved roles. Some places I've been at, they will actually ask new teachers to stand and they will introduce you in front of the whole entire district. I've been to some where they don't. They leave that for when everybody's in their own individual buildings. So just be aware of that if you're a new teacher. You might be introduced to the district, you may be introduced just to your building. When you start that day, I would make sure you are dressed comfortable. Each building's different, each district is different. So to be on the safe side, I would just dress business casual. Khakis and a polo, a nice pair of pants and a nice shirt, and then see how everybody else is dressed. If they're all wearing jeans and t-shirts, then that's okay for that week of in service. I would definitely make sure you know your dress code for that first week of school. But day one, we're going to talk more about like what to do first week of school, and I'm going to talk about dress pretty good the first couple of days. Let students know that you're the teacher. During this time, I would also make sure you have your coffee, tea, Coke. I would have something. I would have a pen. I would have a pad of paper. You're going to be sitting there for a while, so you might make sure you're comfortable with where you're at. If you have your mentor, and if you haven't seen my video on the mentor, go back and see that. Look at questions you need to ask your mentor. Find your mentor, sit with them. They will kind of lead you through what this new in-service is going to be like for you. If you have friends, family, go sit by them. But usually everybody's mingling during this time. About 8:30, 8:45, they're going to start wrapping up the breakfast, and then everybody is going to start being focused on the superintendent or whoever the speaker is for that moment. They will usually introduce themselves. They will usually talk about new initiatives that they want to do for the school. Since everybody's there, they can talk to everybody at one time. Some schools will also have a raffle. They will have prizes donated from the community. And so when you go in, you might have to get a ticket or they might draw names. Every district I've been in, they've always had something like that on the first day. So just be aware of that too. You might actually get something good. All right, so let's talk about what happens after you leave the district meeting, and now we're heading to your building for your meeting. So your principal will have a set time and set place for where you guys are going to meet. This could be the cafeteria, it could be the library, it could be a computer lab. Depending on what it is that needs to be done, this is where you're going to head. In your agenda that you get, it should tell you exactly where you need to go. And if you don't, ask your mentor or ask the person teaching next door to you, saying, hey, where's the computer lab at? Most likely they're going to say, hey, when it's time to go, I'll come get you, and we'll walk down together. It's usually pretty simple. I would make sure you bring a pencil and a pad of paper with you. Most of the time they'll have papers there, like information like calendars and stuff, but I like to have my own personal sheet of paper and my own pen just to make sure I'm ready. They are going to tell you important dates. Sometimes they're in a calendar, but sometimes things change. So I always have a pen in case I need to mark out a date that's changed and I've got to put a new one in. Make sure you get these dates, and this is super important. Know your dates for testing. Know your dates for any type of interim group or any type of artifacts you need to have represented. Make sure you know your duty schedule. Okay, these are super important. Once you have these dates, you need to have a big calendar, a wall calendar, a desk calendar, something on your phone, a calendar on your computer that will alert you to these dates coming up. I can't tell you how many times teachers will come running into my room and being like, I forgot that we had all this stuff that was due tomorrow. I just totally forgot about it. Make sure it's written down somewhere or someplace where you can find it and keep referring back to that. Those are super important. So now, once you kind of go into the cafeteria or library and you start your meeting, they're going to start talking about the teacher handbook, and they're going to talk about strategies that they want us to implement for this year, or how we need to improve test scores. Those are usually conversations that you have. And then you usually have a lunch. Most of the time, first day, they're going to feed you. Why? Because they don't want you to leave and have to wait for everybody to get back. There's a lot of information that first day, so most of the time they feed you to keep people from leaving campus and being gone for an hour, hour and a half. So usually it's a working lunch, you eat, and then after 30 minutes or so, they'll start talking again and you can finish up eating as you go. Now, some districts I've been at have fed us every day. I've had some districts where they feed us the first and the last day, or a day we have open house, or open house. They'll feed us sometimes on those days. So just get with your district, talk to your mentor and ask them kind of like, so you can plan if you need to go out and eat, bring a lunch, something for those days. All right, so day one is a long day. It's going to be a lot of meetings. It's going to be a lot of talking. Do not plan a lot of time in your room. You may have an hour, maybe two. Most of the times, first day, we don't work in our rooms in a lot of the places I've been at. Every once in a while I have one where I do, but just plan to not work in your classroom that first day. Now, you're there for a whole week most of the time, 5 days. So day one's meetings, day 2, 3, and 4 are going to be more the meats and potatoes of what they want you to do. This will be the time you will have to do professional development. Our state requires certain ones every year. So I might have to do mandated reporter. I might have to do ethics. I might have to do homelessness or sex trafficking or suicide prevention. These are professional developments that will rotate on like a 5-year rotation, and whichever one we have for that year, they will have a group meeting and we will all do that workshop together. We will also spend this time with our individual departments, our individual grade levels. We will start planning, we will start scaffolding information and make sure we're all on the same page. During this time, we will also look at test scores from the previous year. What do we need to work on this year? What are some SMART goals we need to set for this year that we can show improvement? These are all going to be questions that are going to be asked. This is going to be data we're going to have to dig through during these next 2 to 3 days. You may have a new learning management system. It could be Planbook, it could be Google Classroom or Schoology or Moodle or anything like that. And they might want you to do certain types of like crisis plans, or if you have a problem with a student, how are we going to react to that? Are we going to do RTI? They're going to talk about all these different things that they want you to be able to do this year and do it effectively and do it quickly. Now during this time, this first, usually it's on a Wednesday or Thursday of that week, you will have an open house. Now this is usually lower grades, higher grades, secondary schools usually don't have an open house. Like you may have one, but it's usually elementary. So you'll have an open house, and that will usually be in the afternoon. So you might start your in-service day later. You might start around noon instead of around 8, so you can be there later for parents. They usually give you time to work in your classroom on these days because they want to make sure your classrooms are set up. They're going to make sure all of your paperwork is there. All the information you need should be given to you for open house. And if not, you need to make sure you get with your mentor or contact your principal to ask for some more specific information. But this will be the day parents come in. Make sure you have a sign-in sheet. You have a parent sign in as you go. And some schools, and I love it when they do this, they will give you all the information packets that the parents need. So you give that to them at open house. And then the first day of school, you get all that paperwork back, filled out, signed. You organize it however the office wants you to organize it, and then you give it to whoever needs that paperwork. Either it's for free and reduced lunch, or if it's for computer checkout, or if it's for making sure confirming address. All that paperwork gets handed out at open house, and then you just turn it in the first couple of days of school. I love it when they do that. Some schools don't do that, but I love it when they do. So the best day of the week is Friday, because Friday you are just about done. On Friday it's pretty low key. You're usually done with meetings by 11 o'clock noon. These are the times when they will come in and you may have had a conflict of a date. So they might say, hey, we got to change this date that we had for testing. We didn't know about this going on over here. So make sure you always have your pen and paper with you so you can make these notes, and then make sure you confirm and change those in your calendars, on your computer, on your desk, wherever, so you know of that change. They may feed you lunch on this day as a celebratory, hey, we made it through this week. Monday, your boots on the ground. They will give you probably an updated roster that Friday, or they might say it will be in your box Monday morning. They will tell you paperwork that students need to have signed, filled out, turned in. Sometimes they will sit down and say, all right, I need everybody to highlight where parents need to sign. I need to make sure this part here is filled out. They're going to give you all of that information for you to collect those papers from students and make sure they're all filled out correctly. But Friday is usually in the afternoon. You spend the rest of the time getting stuff cleaned up, picked up, and you're usually ready for the first day from there. So I hope that got you ready for in-service for your first year of school. I hope that gives you kind of an overview. Every district is a little different. So again, talk with your mentor for specifics, but this is basic overview of every district I've been in, how it's been kind of set up. So I hope that helps to relieve some of that stress and anxiety, and you're ready for your first week of in-service. Best of luck.
If you like this video, we'd appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe to our channel. Also, hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified when future videos come out. We'll see you guys next time.